Artemis Oracle. I'm going to turn off the chat because I just want to focus on the energy for today. So today we're having a Mercury Cazimi in Taurus. So Cazimis are when a planet is in the heart of the sun, and whatever the planet stands for or represents indicates what is the empowered part of that planet. So Mercury is the planet about information, communication, technology, thoughts, ideas, how we interact with other people in the communicative state, how we convey our ideas or messages. So that's basically what this Kazemi is empowering right now. All that has to do with how we connect with other people. And since we are in the sign of Taurus, is also an indication or magnifies what kind of information we're receiving about wealth, about employment, about self-worth, how we make money, what ways can we be more practical with making money, things like that. Also about your home. How can you create a stable structure within your home, but also within yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you view yourself? How do you think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you think you're worthy? And then we're going to have a new moon on Saturday in Taurus, which is Taurus rules the second house. Second house is about home. No, sorry. It's about our stability, our structure. It's a grounded sign. It's a sign that's ruled by Venus, but that has to do with luxury, financial security, self worth, net worth, all of that. But since new moons are representation of is a perfect time for manifestation. This is where whatever you're trying to manifest for yourself within this new moon phase that we're going to be entering into on Saturday, May 16th, you have to be in the vibration of feeling worthy of whatever it is that you're wanting to attract into your life, where you're wanting to manifest in your life. And if you feel any sense of lack in any part of your life, that is going to interfere with what you're going to be attracting. New moons are about setting intentions, so you have to pay attention to your intentions, and you have to be in the vibrations that will invite and welcome whatever your intention is for whatever you're wanting for yourself. It could be within the love realm, it could be within money and finances, it could be even how you can improve on certain parts of yourself. How can you take care of yourself? How can you do better for yourself? How can you achieve your goals? Are there any areas that you need to improve on when it comes to your confidence, your self-esteem? Even in what ways can you ground yourself, So I just wanted to touch on that because later today, if I can, I don't know if I will be able to go live later today because we're having an event in our office, our department, and they're going to be using the conference room. So if I could find another space to do a reading, then I'll do that. But if I can't, then you won't see me later on today. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Tan. Artemis Oracle is my channel. I'm an oracle and tarot card reader. And I want to read for today's current energy. I want to give you any messages you need to know, but remember, not all messages are going to resonate with you. Some may resonate with a situation that may be going on around you, with people that are around you, because when we're around other people, whether they're at work, home, relationships, friends, their energy can enmesh with ours. So I could read some of their energy, but I want to see what the current energy is. Okay, I know this deck is the love situations deck, but sometimes it touches on things that are outside of the love realm. So let's see what comes out with this particular deck. Okay. Let me prepare this deck. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you being here. I had to turn off the chat because I want to really tune into the energy without influence, And so I know if I open the chat, they're going to be like, someone's going to automatically ask a question. And this is a current energy for the collective. Okay, love activation is interesting because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the heart chakra, you know, love activation. Someone's heart is opening. It's making me think of that song, Can You Feel My Heart? If you don't know, some of you may know this song. I'm thinking about Giga Chad right now. It says awakening, heart space opening, twin flame ascension. So take that as it resonates for you, but it's about someone's heart space opening. This is definitely the time for that to happen. Remember, we are in Taurus season, and then we're going to be having one new moon in Taurus on Saturday, May 16th. And this is a time to evaluate what intentions you want to set when it comes to money, when it comes to finances. Also, you're focusing on what it is that you love, focusing on what it is that you care about. What do you want to attract when it comes to that? Do you feel you're worthy of receiving whatever it is you have the intention set for? I feel like that's the only card. Ooh, this is a really good card to see, because I was like, I think that's the last card. That was the only card that we need, since Venus rules Taurus, and Venus is all about love, luxury, living a life of luxury. But there are certain things that need to be cut out, things that aren't helping you, that are harming you in some way. It says, excuse me, I hate clearing my throat on camera. Cutting ties and separation, leaving before it gets worse, and cutting your losses. So some of you may be in this energy that you're being more aware of what it is that you care about, what it is that you want to attract in your life. And you're maybe even becoming more aware of what it is that you already have in your life that isn't serving that purpose, isn't contributing to what it is that you really want. You know, there could be certain people that you're dealing with that you no longer resonate with, that you feel like you really don't have any more need for them in your life. And that sounds very selfish, but what I mean is, you know, sometimes relationships have an expiration date. And for some of you, some of your relationships can be reaching the expiration date. The relationship has already taught you what you needed to know. It let you know in what areas you needed to improve on yourself, what areas you needed to work on that would allow you to open up your heart space. You know, for you to be open to love, you open to receiving love, open to giving love, also being open to receiving things that you want to manifest, you know, but it's all about self-worth. You know, some of you could be cutting out certain habits or belief systems that in some way have created blockages that really didn't allow you to attract whatever it is that you wanted to. And it probably is tied to certain belief systems that may have made you feel unworthy, made you feel some level of shame or guilt for things that have happened in the past or things that you may have experienced recently. So some of you could be cutting those belief systems out. You could be cutting out people who also detract from you being in a healthy mental space, especially when it comes to your emotions, especially when it comes to your heart space. If you've been dealing with people who have not been kind, who have been very hurtful, icy, detached with you, you may be seeing that in some way they have influenced you to be in that behavior or be in that energy yourself. And that could be you realizing, okay, yeah, I don't want to be in this space. I don't want to be in that energy. You want to experience things fully. You want to feel things fully. And you're realizing that there's certain things and certain people that you need to detach from, you know? So that's why I thought that was really good for that to come up. Okay. Let me see what other cards I have. I know about my tarot. I want to talk about the new moon. I know this is a reading. I talked about it briefly, but I feel like I really want to talk about it now because I don't think I'm going to be able to go on live, and I would maybe tomorrow I could do like an all signs new moon and Taurus type reading. I think that'd be good to do. So I was looking up about the new moon and Taurus that we're going to be having on the 16th, Saturday the 16th. So in the Moonology deck, that's the Know Your Worth card. And like I keep mentioning, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love, right? But it says the focus should be on your personal worth, your financial, when it comes to financials, yourself, your belief, your love, and also the material possessions that you have, right? It's the most important thing, especially since we are in this moon phase, or entering this moon phase where it's all about setting intentions, because new moons are about manifestation and setting intentions, but also they mark a lunar cycle in which we're starting over. Because the new moon is basically a moon that is blank, it's dark, you can't see it, it's hidden in some way. And then eventually full moon is when we could see the full moon, the whole moon in her full glory, you know. But right now it's like a clean slate, a new beginning for yourself. It's starting a new chapter. It's like opening like to a new page that has yet to be written, but you can set an intention for it, right? So right here, the affirmation for this is, I deserve to manifest, and then you fill in the blank, whatever it is you want to manifest for yourself. But you also have to make sure that when you are manifesting something, it's not only good for you, but it can in turn be beneficial to other people around you. You know, it can't be like a completely selfish manifestation that can take away from other people. You know what I mean? So it has to be for your highest good, but also not to anyone's detriment, you know? So there's an important focus on self-esteem, self-worth. And regardless of the fact that this new moon is going to be in Taurus, self-worth is an important thing. You have to value yourself. You have to see yourself in as high a regard as you can, not where you feel like you're better than anybody, but where you feel like you're worthy of receiving good things. You're worthy of having good experiences. You're worthy of meeting respectful people who will be as respectful as you are, of anything good, you know? It says it's important to connect to yourself, your values, and your perception of who you are and want to be. Your stability and security is tied to what you believe about yourself and what you believe you're worthy of receiving. Believe that if you're truly aligning with what you want and feel you deserve, your patience, practical actions, faith, and openness to learn will serve your manifestation into becoming a reality. These are my words, okay? And heart chakra. We have the love activation card coming out. This is the heart chakra breaking open. If you're interested in crystals and stuff, it's pink crystals, but usually it's rose quartz that is a crystal used for self-love. But it could be any pink crystal as well. So it says, oh, well, this is what I wrote. I don't know why it says. I wrote this. Open your heart to receive what you truly desire. Feel your heart. And remember earlier I was talking about, can you feel my heart? It's that song, Giga Chad. Can you feel my heart? I forgot who sings that song, but you have to make sure you're feeling your heart. You're feeling whatever you need to feel, because as I always say, your feelings are teachers. They let you know what's good for you. They teach you, they remind you of what is good for you, what isn't good for you, what feels good, what feels bad, what you need to change, and what you should continue doing, you know, because your heart, your feelings, depending, because sometimes, you know, if you're having anxiety and stuff, it could be because you're worried about something in that negative space. But this is about feeling and learning, you know. We have all the five senses, and feeling, touch, and feeling senses, you know, like we're here to feel these things. We're here to experience this. Let me see. I think I got the Moonology deck. I have my Moonology messages deck. It's funny because I have like the entire series of the Moonology Oracle cords. Maybe some of you maybe needing to cut out some cords, some energetic cords or bonds that you have towards things that have kept you blocked. All right, so let's see what Moonology messages we get for the collective. What Moonology messages does the collective need to know? I have my listen B cards, so we could use those for affirmations. Get some affirmations. Okay, Moonology messages. Know your worth. You are worthy of deserving whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. As long as you hold on to that belief that it's possible, you have to be in that vibration to attract whatever it is you want. Like if you're trying to attract a partner, they say be the partner that you want. Be a reflection of that partner. Who we attract and what we attract is a mirror. Okay, moonrise cleansing. Moonrise cleansing. Remember, like the new moon is essentially like a blank slate, a fresh, clean slate, an opportunity to start over, to refresh. Last week or earlier this week, the word reboot, a reboot. Anything else? Cleansing. Some of you may consider doing some sort of cleansing ritual, burning sage, salt baths. You know what I wonder? I need to look this up. Is sunbathing a way of cleansing? Because think about it. The sun can cleanse you. I mean, they say it could give us other things too, if we don't have SPF. But, the sun is powerful, right? Moonflower, take a risk. Okay, let me get one more. Got two cards. It says Quicksilver Moon changes, but that moon may be intuition. So some of you may be getting some sort of intuitive nudges about changes that you need to consider making. Some of them may be requiring you to take a risk, take a leap of faith. I love how this card matches my nails. And then cleansing, When you think about cleansing, it's about removing any dirt, debris, anything that is stains or blocks or can skew your vision, right? I'm imagining like a windshield that has so much bird poop on it now, and you gotta, in order to see things clearly, you have to get rid of all the stuff that's stuck on the window, right? So that could be what the cleansing is for you. It's a reboot, a refresh, so that you can have a blank new slate. And it could be with cleansing your energy. People do different things. I would suggest you search what type of cleansing rituals exist and find the one that aligns with you and works with what you have around you. Because it doesn't have to be like a whole process. It's all about the intention that you set with something. You could do a cleansing by going in the shower and with the intention that you set, in the shower, my intention is to cleanse myself of any negative energy that may be blocking what is meant for me to receive. You could say something like that in the shower, and then, don't try to keep your mind as clear as possible and focus on what it is that you want to manifest, what your intentions are as you're cleansing yourself and removing, or as you're going through the process, like I'm cleansing all the negativity from my etheric realm. You do something like that. Use whatever words you want, whatever comes to you naturally, but I'll give you an idea. That's the simplest way. If you don't want to buy Florida water or sage or what's the other thing, Palo Santo, or anything like that. You could keep it simple. You can even burn a candle, So I would say a bath of some sort or a shower may be useful too. Even doing aromatherapy, that might help too. But, look up whatever, may work for you based on what you have or what you feel comfortable with, but it's all about your intention, you know? And this is all for you, all for your highest good. So, moonrise. All right, cleansing. Drawing this card suggests that you've been through a very difficult situation from which you're now emerging. Even though you're nearing the end of this challenging period of your life, or perhaps are already there, you still have the energetic cords. Didn't I talk about energetic cords? Cutting the cords? Because I wanted to say moonology cards and I said moonology cords. Still have energetic cords or attachments that you need to clear from your life. Cut out. Think of them as energetic debris that needs to be washed away by time and intention. Just as we can see the moon rise nearly every night in the skies, so you too are nearly always be able to process. So you too are nearly always be able to process. Always able. Oh my God, I can't read. I'm going to have to reread that. Think of them as energetic debris that needs to be washed away by time and intention. Just as we can see the moon rise nearly every night in the skies, so you too are nearly always able to process upsets from some effort, or with some effort. You need to carry out this cleansing of your body, mind, and spirit, or you risk remaining stuck in the past. Sit under the moon's beams and ask her to cleanse you. Ask Archangel Michael to cut your cords of the past. Take regular salt baths. Most importantly, set the intention that you're cleansing yourself of the past so that you may face a happier present and a brighter future. Once you've cleansed, you can start over in a way that you may not have even believed was possible. So with the new moon, it's like having a start over. It's like the song from Purity Ring, Begin Again. I would suggest you listen to that song. I think that's a Scorpio song. I'm a Scorpio. I'm very partial to that song. I would suggest you listen to it. It's Begin Again by Purity Ring. It says, additional meanings for this card is something in this situation needs to be cleared. Use sage to clear your home energetically. You are emerging cleansed. Integrity and truth will win the day, and be kind, but also very honest. Right? It's funny that it says something that you risk remaining stuck in the past. For some of you, you may not heed this advice. So that's a risk you might be choosing to take, but for some of you, you may heed this advice and do some sort of cleansing ritual for yourself. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be as simple as taking a salt bath, an Epsom salt bath, a Himalayan salt bath, or just like taking a shower and having the intention of repeating the intention as you're cleansing your body that you're removing any negative energy, you're removing past energy that may be stuck. This is just a suggestion. Not everybody has to follow through with it. Okay, now Moonflower is the next card for Take a Risk. Let's see what that says. Do you have the courage to spin the wheel of life and see what comes up? Playing it safe will not serve your current situation. No one is saying you should take a massive risk and gamble everything away, but nor should you refuse to make your move. It could be time for you to adopt a more positive mental attitude and see your glass half full. A regular gratitude practice will help. For example, every Friday night, try doing your practice with friends or family for a few weeks. Adventure is calling you somehow, and this card has come up because your higher self wants you to look further into it. As Marianne Williamson famously wrote, your playing small does not serve the world. It's time for you to take a risk and show the world who you really are and how you really feel. If your self-esteem is hampering you, this card is a sign to work on it. And we are entering the new moon in Taurus. The wheel is still spinning when you get this card. Take a chance. And this is about you taking a chance on yourself. Believing yourself, believing that you're worthy, working on yourself and your self-esteem so that you can know what are the best things for you to take a risk on. And if there's an opportunity that may seem a little bit different, maybe unfamiliar to you, like you're being invited to something, consider if it's something that you're afraid of trying to do or you're not wanting to do because you're scared, or is it because you don't feel like I'm going to say some of you may feel like you don't fit in. Some of you could be invited to something where you feel like you may not fit in, and that may be tied to your self-esteem. I think it's about being authentic to yourself. being who you really are, being true to who you are, because the people who will love and appreciate you will never want you to change. If anything, they will, if they want you to change, they want you to change for the better, you know? But the card has additional meanings. Take the trip. So there's some of you maybe getting an opportunity to travel. Be optimistic. Love yourself more. Life is short. Make the most of it. Believe in yourself. This is what we're talking about. These are the cards that came out. I'm just reading the energy. So we have Quicksilver Moon. Okay, changes. Nothing stays the same forever. If you want change, rejoice. If you're clinging on to a situation that may well have run its course, however, then this card is a gentle suggestion to release your grip. Nothing about your situation is currently firmly fixed. This can be a good thing, so stay open. Keep your eyes peeled for your sign as well. In particular, notice the next song you hear. Is there a message in it for you about your question? If you're not happy about your situation, the good news is that change is afoot. So don't give up. What seems stuck now could be far more flexible quite soon. If you're hoping to change the course you're on now, this is a sign that you can, so take action. If the idea of change worries you, try to have a little faith in the universe. Set the intention that whatever happens next is happening for your highest good. The fact that nothing lasts forever is a part of this card's message. Events are moving. So there are certain changes. Some of you are, like I mentioned earlier, certain people have already served their purpose in your life. You know, your connection has reached some sort of expiration date, and it's now time to cut your losses, you know, to move on, to release your grip on something. But it's not saying that you could give up on something, but it's just saying you can't hold on tightly to something that because essentially you could be also hindering some sort of changes that could be happening if you're holding on to something, you know. But for some of you, it could just simply be something can be coming to an end. But it says additional meanings for this card is change may be inevitable now. Expect good things. You'll get your answer very soon. Ask a wise woman for advice and don't cling to the past. Remember, if nothing else, that things change. As they say, the moon teaches us that it's okay to go through phases. It could be that some of you too may be going through a certain phase. You may be closing a cycle out with a life cycle, and starting something new, you're transitioning into a different area in your life. It could be within work, it could be within your relationship. It could be with family. Like some of you can be becoming parents or pet parents. Or you may be moving from your parents' house to your house, or you're moving from, like say you got a divorce, you're moving from your former family home into a home that's just yours, you know, or just you and your children. You know, there may be certain changes coming up, but it's the intuition card says moon maybe. Moon maybe intuition. I want to know how that's connected with the changes, because some of you may already be sensing these changes too. And this could be a confirmation. 9 times out of 10, this deck will give you a straight answer. But sometimes you'll get this card. So it's like not a definitive yes or no. It's a maybe. It's like, I'm going to tell you what I'm getting just from reading that, is that certain things are not set in stone. So you're going to have to let things play out the way they're meant to, without interfering, without trying to manipulate a situation to how you want it to be, or even trying to manipulate a person into being how you want them to be. It's just let things unravel, let them go as they should or must, in order for it to fully manifest, for the answer to really manifest, and for you to know what you're supposed to do, what you're meant to do, you know. Perhaps a little frustratingly, it firmly informs you that there is no real need for you to ask your question, because you already know the answer, at least deep down. So take a moment now, close your eyes and breathe. Turn inward. Feel your energetic body around you. What does your intuition tell you about your situation? Any feelings that come up now should feel neutral. True intuition isn't emotionally charged. When you draw this card, you're being asked to think less about logic and more about what you're feeling in your heart. and guts. Your feelings will never misguide you. Some people consider intuition to be some kind of cosmic thing. The fact is, however, that it's not really cosmic, it's normal. Nearly all truly successful people know when their intuition is trying to tell them something and know to ignore their intuition at their peril. So dig deep before you try another card instead. What is your intuition telling you here? Some of you may already know that you already sense that there may be changes going on, or there may be certain changes that need to happen. Some of you already know this. Some of you already feel this. And like it says, true intuition isn't emotionally charged. Whenever you get an idea or thought and it's tied to an emotion, then you know that's not your intuition. That's your anxiety. That's your fear speaking. When your intuition speaks to you, it tells you something as if it's a fact. And there's neutrality. There's no sadness. There's no happiness. There's nothing. It's just very neutral. It's like saying milk is white. Do you feel any emotions about milk being white? So that's how your intuition speaks to you. It tells you something as if it's a fact. No emotions are tied to it at all. You know, that's how I've learned how my intuition works. Even before I got this deck, I was like, oh, that's how it works. Okay, so I've got some time. Let me see what else. Excuse me. Let me see if I can open up the chat. Let me see if it'll let me open up the chat. Try to pick a time frame. Okay, so I decided to open up the chat for any questions, but it's going to be for the next 15 minutes. So if you have a yes or no question you'd like to ask me, feel free to do so. But of course, you have to be a subscriber, you know. I'm only answering yes or no questions. So feel free to put something in the chat. Love activation. Your heart's opening up. Heart space opening. Okay. So thank you for anyone who gave this live stream a like. I really appreciate your support. I hope the messages resonated with you in some way, gave you some sort of guidance. In the meantime, since no one's putting anything in the chat, I want to give you some affirmation cards too for this new moon in Taurus. What affirmations does the collective need to know at this time when it comes to this new moon? Hey Christy, how are you? Welcome back. What affirmations do we have for the collective? That's for the highest and greatest good. When it comes to this new moon in Taurus. Okay. What affirmations does the collective need to know for the new moon in Taurus? What affirmations does the collective need to know for the new moon in Taurus? To set their intentions, to remind them of their self-worth. Sort of inspiration, guidance, advice. Okay. All right. So the first card that we have, I don't know which one came up first. The things that you say to yourself matter. Be kind. So make sure that when you speak to yourself, you're speaking to yourself kindly. I know that there's this quote from Bruce Lee about the words you speak. You have to be careful with the words you speak, especially about yourself, because I do believe in magic. I do believe in that, you know. I feel like our words can be used. Their words are energy. Words hold power. So be careful what you're saying to yourself, because what you're saying to yourself is essentially what you're telling your universe about yourself. and it's what you're believing about yourself. And since we are going to be in the new moon in Taurus, and this is about self-worth, make sure that you're saying really kind things about yourself. Focus on the positive aspects of yourself, not about anything negative that you despise or hate. But if there's certain things that you need to change, then maybe accept it for what it is now, with the intention to make the necessary changes you need so that you can love and appreciate yourself for who you are right now. Sometimes letting go is the best way to free yourself. There's something that some of you really need to release, and it's definitely having some sort of effect on how you are viewing yourself. Remember, I'm focusing on the new moon in Taurus, and it's all about self-worth. So what is it? Who is it? Where is it that you need to let go of, release, so that you can start to see yourself for who you are, see the positive traits, the things that you love and appreciate about yourself, your virtues, not the negative stuff. Yes, there are things that we have that we don't like, that we would like to change, but this is the time to focus more so on the positive about yourself. Now, the last card we have is blurt out your ideas or hold them back and see what doesn't happen. Remember, one of them was talking about take a risk. Did I shuffle that card back in? Yeah, look, take a risk. There's something that you definitely need to speak up about. Don't worry about how other people may view it, You need to, even if you're not speaking to anybody, just say it out loud. And if it sounds ridiculous, you're like, okay, yeah, maybe that's a little stupid or whatever. Sometimes, like just saying it out loud, you hear it and you're like, okay, maybe that's not a great idea. But sometimes you can say it out loud and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And it kind of makes it real. And then you share it with other people, and hopefully you have the right kind of people that support you and stuff, that won't try to put you down, like, oh no, like naysayer people. You avoid those type of people. You want people who are like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, and then they encourage you to think about what you should do or how you can implement it and all that stuff, and it's just like inspiration, let people inspire you, inspire other people. That's how we inspire each other, when we share our ideas, so like it says, blurt out your ideas or hold them back and see what doesn't happen. What doesn't happen? If you hold back, nothing's going to happen. If you don't take a risk, nothing's going to happen, right? What they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And taking a risk is you taking a shot, All right, so I see Christy has a question. I hope that resonates with you in some way, in the best way possible. Okay, so Christy has a question. Hi, good luck. It's good to see you here. Hi, Lion Sky. Hi, Jay Sutton. Okay, Christy. Will Christy's roommate move out? You gotta pick. That's two questions. I'm going to say this. I'm going to ask this question instead, because it is the question, but does Christy need to move out? It's saying no. No, but you're right. There is toxicity. Maybe this person is the one that's going to be moving, because I asked if you should move on. It's saying no. No, but your roommate may be moving out. I don't know when they're going to do that, but maybe happening soon. It's saying no, that you shouldn't move on. And this is a card about moving, transitions and stuff. It's saying no. I think your roommate is the one that's going to end up moving out. But another way I could read it too is the situation you're in isn't a peaceful one. So you have to follow your intuition and decide what is your best move. Because I can imagine moving is a pain in the ass. Trying to find an apartment The whole process of packing all your stuff and everything. So, and this is interesting that the moon maybe card came out. So, you have to trust your intuition. If you, because you can only take so much of toxicity, right? But it's like, but the Six of Swords coming out, even though it says no, that you don't have to move, maybe it's the other person moving, but it's like a matter of how much are you willing to take before you wait for this person to move out, you know? Because you don't want to be continuing to put yourself into space where you're constantly stressed out, anxious, you know, and then the Ace of Swords came out. You already know the truth. You already know what decision you have to make. Ultimately, this is your decision. The cards are just, they just confirm what you already know, you know? You may already know this person may be moving out, or you may be knowing that as long as you stay in that situation, you're not going to be in peace. But ultimately, it's up to you to decide. You know, if you're not happy in the situation, then you need to start thinking about, instead of waiting for them to move, maybe you need to start taking action, you know? I hope that helps you, Christy. Because I know, like, moving is not the greatest thing. It's not fun, you know? I mean, physically, the labor of it all, the mental having to think about, like, packing. What am I going to take? What am I going to get rid of? Where am I going to move? And it's mentally draining, I can imagine. I mean, from the last time I moved, it was. I hope that helps, Christy. Okay, so I have 10 more minutes before I leave. So if someone else has a question, I suggest you do so now. Actually, I'm going to say 5 more minutes so I can close out this reading. It's funny, I said 5 more minutes and the 5 of Pentacles flipped. The 5 of Pentacles, yeah, I just took away 5. Okay, so I'm going to end the reading now because there's only one person here. So I thank you all for joining. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.